Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today, inshallah, we will talk about comparing lesson. Please don't ask me about which page. I'm not using the book now. Put your hands down. I'm not using the book. I will just explain the first, then we will use the book. Khalas? Leave the book. I will not use the book. Just listen, try to understand what I'm saying now. If you understand, it will be easy to solve. If you remember the fraction, when I say we have fraction like 2 over 3, we need to write equivalent fraction. You remember the equivalent fraction? That's only if you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. For example, we can multiply here by 2 and multiply 3 by 2. So the new fraction that we have, 2 times 2 equals 4 and 3 times 2 equals 6. Any problem for equivalent fraction? You remember what is the meaning of equivalent fraction? If you are not understanding this point, please raise your hand. Okay, what's the problem? Don't ask me, please, before you ask. Don't ask me about which page. I'm not using the book. Oh. What is the question?
No.
What is the question? What is the question, Walid?
Sir, I will not ask to the page. I don't understand.
Okay, that's the question. Which part that you didn't understand? Again, we said for the fraction. You remember the fraction?
Yes.
Okay, for the fraction, if you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, you will get the same fraction. What is the meaning of that? Suppose that we have one pizza. If you divide it like that, how many parts that we have?
2.
What is the fraction for the shaded part?
1.
1 part out of?
2.
Out of 2. So if we divide it by this way, the shaded part is still the same or different?
Different.
No, it's still the same. That is the same piece. There is nothing changed. That is the same piece. But instead of eating as one piece, I divide it in 2 parts. That's all. So how many shaded parts now that we have?
2. 2 out of 4.
They are the same. Is it right? If you look at the fraction, you will find that we multiply here 1 times 2 and 2 times 2. It's mean if you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, you will find the same value of the fraction.
Yes.
Suppose that we have a pizza and we divided another part. How many parts now? At the beginning, it was 1 part out of 2. Now, how many shaded parts? It's 4 part out of 8. Is it right?
Yes.
And we said it's
Now
B
I
equals.
understand.
You understand it now? So if you multiply here 1 times 4 equals 4, and 2 times 4 equals 8. That's only for multiplying. No, it could be for division. 4 divided by 2 equals 2, and 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So if you multiply or divide the fraction by the same number, you will find the same value of the fraction. The value of the fraction be the same. Can we add or subtract to find the same value? No. Only if you multiply or divide. If you multiply the numerator by 2, you have to multiply the denominator by 2. Multiply by 10, you have to multiply the denominator by 10. Any problem now, Walid?
No, thank you. I understand.
So what's the question, Yusuf? Please don't ask me which page. I need you just to understand, then we continue to the book.
I can write this at a notebook or no?
Leave the notebook now. I need you to understand. That's not written in the book. I just revised the missing part, which was in grade 4. That was at the 2nd semester in grade 4. So I just revising to solve our lesson. If I want you to write anything, wallah, I will tell you. Leave writing now. Leave writing. Leave opening the book. Just understand to solve. That's my question.
Because, Mister, I didn't understand, and I want you to.
Which part that you didn't understand? Which part that you didn't understand, and I will repeat.
The 2 over 3 and 4 over 6, like this.
Where is 2 over 3? This one?
I mean,
Leave this one. You remember what I'm talking now about the pizza? I just explained this part again. Can you repeat what I'm saying now about the pizza? We have one piece of pizza. Can you repeat this one? Can you repeat this example, please? What I'm saying for this one?
no.
Because you just want to listen. You just want to open the book. So please, close the book, close the notebook, just listen, just look to the screen, leave the book now. Okay? I will explain it one more time. What is the question? Hamza, I think. Is it right, Hamza? What is the question? No questions. Again for this question. Again for this one. We have a formula for the fraction. What is the formula for the fraction? If you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, you will find the same value of the fraction. You will find the same value of the fraction. Just 1 minute. Hamza, what is the question?
Mister, I don't remember what's a fraction.
We explained the fraction at the beginning of the decimal, but I'm calling you more than one time in that session, and you didn't give me any response.
Mister, are you sure my mic?
Not
my mic
yesterday.
wasn't open.
Not yesterday.
What?
And the day that we explain the decimal, just go back to the videos, and you will find that I'm calling you more than one time, and you didn't give me any response. And that when we just explain it, no, just listen, please, just listen. In the lesson that we explaining the decimal. In which lesson? In decimal. We explain the fraction. So what is the question?
What?
What is the question? What's your question now?
Nothing. I will watch the video. Okay.
Okay, watch the video because we explain the fraction. Don't play and ask me again to repeat, because at this lesson, exactly, I'm calling you because you was playing at this lesson. Okay? So again, I will repeat the fraction. Again, I will repeat the fraction. So please, listen please for this part. A fraction is a part of a whole one. Suppose that we have a pizza like that, and we divide it into two equal parts. It must be equal parts. And we shade only one part here. So can you write the fraction for the shaded part? This shaded part, we only shade one part out of two. So the fraction now we have, which is 1 out of 2. That is the fraction. Then, suppose that I will divide it. Instead of 2 parts, I will make it 4 parts. So still the shaded is the same. It doesn't change. The size is still the same. But only instead of making one piece of shaded part, I make it 2 pieces. So now we have here 2 pieces out of 4. So I will change it. Instead of 4 pieces, I will make it 8. So how many shaded parts now? It's 4 parts are shaded out of 8. If you look at the fraction, you will find that. If you look at the pieces, you will find that the same piece of pizza doesn't change. The same piece doesn't change. But the small pieces, the slides are changing. The number of slides are changing. But the shaded part is still the same. The shaded part still the same. So it's mean 1 out of 2 is the same as 2 out of 4, the same as 4 out of 8. What is the relation that we have? If you multiply the numerator and the denominator by the same number, still you will get the same value of the fraction. Even if you divide the numerator and denominator by the same number, you will still get the same value of the fraction. It's not necessary to be 2. We can say that 3 over 5. I can multiply here by 10. And I can here also multiplying by 10. So it will be 3 times 10 equals 30. And 5 times 10 equals 50. It's mean 3 over 10. 3 over 5, the same as 30 out of 50. Any problem for this point? If you have a problem from this point, that's only what I need you to know. If you have any problem about this point, please raise your hand. If you have a problem about this part only. Any problem about this part? Any problem? Okay. So What is the problem, Abdurrahman?
Mister, I don't understand 3 times 10 like this. I don't understand this.
Just to multiply 3 times 10. What is the answer for 3 times 10?
No, first thing you give, how you do it, like 3 over 5 and 3,
That's another
30
question.
over 5.
That's another question. Halas, we finished this one. That's another example. If we have 3 out of 5, a fraction, which is 3 out of 5? Any fraction, 4 out of 9. Any fraction, for example, if you want to find equivalent fraction, you need just to multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number. If you multiply 4 and 9 by the same number, the value of the fraction will be the same. The value of the fraction will be the same. That is the idea for the question. If you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same. What?
40.
We can multiply by 3. 4 times 3, choose any number. 4 times 3 equals 12. 9 times 3 equals 27. Then 4 over 9, the same as 12 over 27. That's from the fraction. That's from grade 4. That's from the properties of the value.
I don't understand how 4 over 9 it's the same at 4.
As we explained, you understand this one? Did you understand this one?
Yeah, I understand.
What is the why 1 over 2 becomes 2 over 4? How come?
Because one time, no, I understand the 1 over 2, why we put 1 over 2 like this.
Just 1 minute, just my question, please. Give me answer for the question. If you need to understand, give me answer. I will ask you some question. Don't give me any other question. Just give me a question and give me answers for my question. Why you say 1 over 2? For the first, at the first part, why you said 1 over 2?
Because the circle was 1 over 2.
Well, just one part shaded. The first one is one part shaded here. That's right. Then the same circle, and instead of making only one part, we make it 4 parts now, and we shade 2. So we said 2 over 4. Is that right?
Yeah.
After that, instead of 4 parts, we make it 8 parts, and we shade 4. So it becomes 4 out of 8. Is that right?
Yeah.
From that, we find a relation. For example, I give you another example. Just listen to this one. Leave the fraction now. When I say 3, 6, 9, 12, can you complete the same pattern?
Yeah.
What is the pattern?
15.
How you know that?
Because we add 3 every
You
time.
add 3. The next one?
18.
How you know that?
Because we add.
Because in each time, that is the pattern. When each time I just give you 4, then you find the next one. But there is no relation. That is term number 6. There is no relation, but there is a pattern now.
Like 3
Please listen,
times.
please. Please listen, please. Please listen, please. Listen for me. I don't know. Just listen, please, to understand. Well, to save time for you and for me. Just wait. Now, for the first one, we just add 3. So the formula that we know now, that in each time we add 3. Is that right? That is the formula that we get. Okay. Suppose that we say 2, 7, then the next is 12, the next is 17. What is the next? In each time, we add 5. We add 5. So it will be 22 and 27. Is that right? So you can find any number of terms after that. How you know that? Because if you look at the pattern and you know that in each time we add 5. From the fraction that we find from number 1, we find that if you multiply the numerator by any number and multiply the denominator by the same number, you will find the same value of the fraction. 1 over 2, the same as 2 over 4. How that? Because we say that we can multiply by 2 and multiply by 2. We said, you know why we find whenever you say that 1 over 2 is equal to 2 over 4 is equal to 4 over 8? You understand this one? Okay.
1 times 2 equals 2.
Leave 1 times 2 now. Leave.
Mr. 1 times anything, it will be correct. Except 0.
Now you're going to another question. Now you go to another
No,
question.
I mean, if we can do 1 times 8, so it will be equals 8.
What is the relation between the multiplication now? Just listen to me, please, Abrahman. Just listen to me. Again, for this one, for any number, it's not necessary to be 1. If I have any fraction, give me any fraction. Just say any fraction. Any fraction.
5 over 5.
Any fraction
5
number.
over 10.
5 over 10. If you multiply 5 by any number, choose you multiply 5 by any number. Any number.
5 times.
Any number.
5 times 2.
5 times 2. If you multiply 10 by the same number, you choose here, you multiply by 2. If you multiply 10 by 2, 5 times 2 equals?
5 times 2 equals 10.
10 times 2 equals?
20.
20. You will find that 5 over 10 is equals to 10 over 20. How that?
Yeah.
Because we have here, suppose that we have one piece and you divide it into 2 equal parts. Okay? So I will divide this part to be 1, 2, 3, just 1 minute. I divided 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. How many shaded part now?
Now 5.
5 out of what?
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Is that right?
Yeah.
If I divided one more time here, how many shaded parts?
5.
Still the shaded part is still the same, or I remove or add anything?
5 over 20.
My question. The shaded part is still the same?
Yeah.
The same size. But now how many pieces that we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 pieces shaded out of the total will be 20. So it's mean 5 over 10 is equals to 10 over 20. That is the meaning of the fraction. So if you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, you will find the same value of the fraction. Hamza Tariq, what is the question? Hamza Tariq? Hamza Tariq? No question. Okay. So we'll open a new page. Okay. So suppose now we have 3 out of 10. Can you write this number as a decimal? Who can write this number as a decimal? If you know how to write this number as a decimal, please raise your hand. What's the answer?
3 over.
I need as a decimal. I need as a decimal.
0.3.
0.3. Okay.
Mr.
Just 1 minute. I just need one question while I need to finish because we are wasting a lot of time. So now we have 3 out of 10. If I multiply 3 times 10 and 10 times 10, what is the answer? Malik. What is the answer, Malik?
30, and then the bottom one is 100.
100, thanks. Can you convert this number to be a decimal?
Yes.
What is the answer?
0.0.
I will write what you say. Okay. How you convert that? How you convert to be a decimal?
So you put 0 and then
No.
And then
At the first, count the zeros. Count the zeros down. Count the zeros 2. So number 1, 2. So the decimal will be after 3. So it will be
yes,
so it will be 0.3. We said now 3 over 10 is equals 0.3. Is that right? And we said
yes,
30 out of 100 is equals 0.30. But we say that 3 out of 10 the same as 30 over 100. It's mean 0.3 the same as 0.30. If you didn't understand this point,
Yeah.
please raise your hand. I will put the hands down. If you didn't understand, please. If you didn't understand this point, please raise your hand. What is the problem in this one?
Mister, I don't have a problem, but can you tell me the name of this example? 3 over 10 times 10 equals this.
Equivalent fraction. Equivalent fraction. Okay. Do you have any problem for this one? I just revised to reach to this point. That's the point that I need for the lesson for today. Huh. You understand it? It's mean when I say 0.13, it will be the same as 0.130. It's mean if you add 0 at the right of the decimal, it will be the same value. It will not be changed. Again for this one, when I write 3, that's equals 0.3. That's right? 0 at the left of the number doesn't mean anything. That is the same value. So if you have 0.5, it will be the same as 0.50, the same as 0.500, the same as 0.5000. If you add 0 at the right of the decimal, you will find the same value of the decimal number. Any problem for this point? Any problem for this point? If you have any problem, please raise your hand. Only this point. Any problem? Any problem for the fraction, the last part? If you have any problem for the last part, please raise your hand. Huh? No problem. So how we can compare between the decimal? I will start with comparing numbers, then we compare between the decimal. If I have a number here, 325, I need to compare between 572. Yusuf, what is the problem?
How, Mister, when you put 0.3 equals 0.30, 3 equals 0.3, and 0.5.
When I ask you, just 1 minute, I'll give you the answer now, just 1 minute. When I ask you to subtract 23, 27 minus 24, can you subtract with me?
3 equals 3.
Subtract step by step, please. When I ask you to do anything you want to understand? Is that right?
Yes.
You ask me to understand. So follow the steps, please. To understand, follow the steps. How you can subtract?
27 minus 4 equals
3.
3.
Yes.
2 minus 2 equals 0.
But you said that the answer is equal to 3. Is that right?
Yes.
Why you said that? Because 0 at the left of the number has no meaning. Is that right? It doesn't affect the number.
Yes.
Is that right? So that is the first one. You understand it?
Yes.
3, the same as 0.3. Suppose that I have here, this number is 127, 124. If you subtract, you will find that you have another 0. So 0, 0, 3 is the same as 3. It means if you add more than 1 0 at the left, you will find that the final answer also will be equals to 3. Is that right? 0 at the left.
Yes. And 0.5, I didn't understand it also.
We need to finish point by point. You ask me to talk or to understand? Huh? To understand? Please follow the steps.
Yes.
Please, step by step. You understand now the first one? You understand it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just wait, please. For the first one, we have here 0.5. Can you convert this one to be a fraction?
How?
Convert to be a fraction, like what we explained for the decimal. That's new, not a new lesson. How you write this number as a fraction?
5
5 over. How many zero? How decimal point? How many numbers at the right of the decimal?
1.
1. So we write only 1 0. So it will be 5 over 10. Is that right?
Yes.
Can you convert this number to be a decimal?
50 over 100.
Yes. Can you convert this number to be a decimal?
500 over 1000.
Can you find a relation between the three fractions? If you look at the 5 here becomes 50, you multiply by 10. Is that right? And
Yes.
10 times 10 equals 100. 50, if you multiply it by 10, it will be 500. 100, if you multiply it by 10, it will be 1000. Is that right?
Yes.
It means if you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, the fraction will be the same or not the same?
If you multiply it by 10,
If you multiply the numerator and denominator by the same number, the fraction will be the same value, have the same value or not? That is the question.
no.
The part that we explained at the beginning, 1 over 2. If you multiply 1 times 4 and 2 times 4, it will be equals 4 over 8. We explained this part at the beginning.
It's the same.
The same. So it's mean 5 over 10, the same as 50 over 100, the same as 500 over 1000. It's mean 0.5, the same as 0.50, the same as 0.500. You understand it now? From that, we can say that if you add any zero at the right of the decimal, it will be the same. Like 5 is the same as 0.5. The same as 0.05. After subtraction, you could you can find 2 zeros at the left. So you remove them, you ignore them, and you say the answer is 5. Or you can find 3 zeros at the left, you ignore them, and you say the answer equals 5. So zeros at the left of the number is still the same value. Doesn't change the value. And if you have 0.5, it will be the same as 0.50, the same as 0.500, the same as 0.5000. If you add zeros at the right of the decimal, the value of the decimal number will be the same. You understand now the difference between them?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr.
Welcome. What is the question, Walid? What is the question?
Sir, I want to answer.
I'm not asking, Wallah, I'm just explaining. I didn't ask anyone any question for answer. Okay?
No, if it comes question, I want to answer.
Okay. Abdurrahman, what is the problem?
Mr. I didn't understand how it's 0.5. It should be like 5 over 10. It should be, it should be 5.
How 5 over
Or
10? It should be 5.
0.5. And 50 should 0.50.
This one, eh? This one, 5 over 10 is 0.5.
Yeah, I mean the first in the 5 equals 0 equals 0.
Which
5.
one? That's example, Abdurrahman. That's example from my mind, not from. We finish this part. خلاص, we finish. That's example from my side. Wallahi, not from this one. That's example. I said from that we can say 5 the same as 0.5. You accepted that 3 the same as 0.03. Is it right?
Yeah.
So if that's 4, it will be the same as 0.4, the same as 0.04, the same as 0.004.
Because if you just put 1 million
zeros at the left, it will be the same. That's the question. So what's the problem?
0 equals 0.
So what is the problem?
Anything plus 0 equals the same number.
Yes. So now we need to go back to comparing the lesson, comparing numbers. If you have a number like 527 and 723, we need to compare between them. How you can compare? How you can compare between the two numbers? I need someone to solve with me. Abdul Ghani. Abdul Ghani. Abdul Ghani, can you compare now with me, please? Abdul Ghani. Waleed, can you compare now with me, please? Waleed. How we can compare between the two numbers?
Compare.
Comparing. Put greater than or smaller than or equal.
I know.
So compare between the numbers. How you can compare between them? That is the question. You can't compare between the two numbers with greater than or smaller than or equal. Hamza. Hamza Tariq.
Yes.
What is the answer
The
for this
dominator
one?
be the same.
Sorry?
The denominator has to be the same.
What is denominator? This number. This one.
What?
This question. 527 and 723. Where is the denominator? Malik. Malik.
No, it's number 100 is like 7 is bigger than 5.
Yes.
So you already know that.
That is the way.
720.
So number one, we check counting the digit. How many digits? We have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Both of numbers have 3 digits, so we can say that they are equal or the same number of digits. So we look from left to right. We have 5 and 7, but 5 and 7 are different. 7 is greater than 5, so the sign now will be smaller than 527, is smaller than 723. That is the way of comparing numbers. So how we can compare between the two decimals? To compare between the decimals, suppose that I have 0.5 and 0.3. Number one, look at the number before the decimal point. What is the number before the decimal point? 0 and 0. They are the same, so go to the decimal number. The number at the right of the decimal must have the same number of digits. How many digits at the right of the decimal point? Malik, how many digits at the right of the decimal point? How many digits? Malik. No Malik. Waleed. Waleed.
Yes.
How many digits at the right of the decimal point? For this one. At the right of the decimal, only one digit. How many digits here? How many digits? Look at the decimal point. How many digits? 3. How many? Not what are the digits.
One.
Only one digit. They have the same number of digits?
No.
They have this. Why? No. How many digits here?
Yes, they have the same.
So they have the same number of digits? Again, look at the numbers. What are the number that we have here? 5.
5.
And 3. They are the
3.
same or different?
They are different.
They are different. Which one is bigger?
5.
So 0.5 is greater than 0.3. You understand it? Again, for this one, we have 0.8 and 0.13. Who can solve this one with me? Who can solve this one?
0.13.
Can you solve this one with me, Waleed? Number one. What is the first step? Look at the number before the decimal. What is the number before the decimal?
0.
What is the number here?
0.
They are the same. Ignore them. Now, step number 2. How many digits at the right of the decimal?
The first digit is 8 and the
How many? My question is how many?
1.
1. How many?
1.
How many digits?
Yeah, 2.
2. They are the same number of digits?
No.
You can't compare. To compare, they must have the same number of digits. So how can we make the 1-digit number to be 2 digits? We said that's decimal. So what is the number that if I add it to the decimal, it doesn't change anything, which is 0. If you add 0 at the right of the decimal, the number would be the same. Is that right?
Yes.
So can you compare now? Now we have the same number of digits. That's not 1 now, it becomes 2. So we have 2 digits and we have 2 digits. Now we can compare. Huh. Which number
Now,
is bigger?
8. The 80.
80. So 0.8 is greater than 0.13. Is that clear now? Any problem for this
Yes.
point? If you didn't
No.
understand, please raise your hands. Number 1, look at the number. Number 1, look at the number before the decimal. Number 2, count how many numbers at the right of the decimal. Number 3, if they are different, complete with 0. Any problem for this point? I will put down the hands, all of the hands down. And if you didn't understand, please raise your hand. If you didn't understand only this part, please raise your hand. Abdul Ghani, what is the question? Abdul Ghani. I'm asking one now. If anyone didn't understand, please. Yani, don't repeat the same question. Try to find the answer from the one that I'm explaining now. What is the problem? Raise your voice, please. No problem, thanks. Raise your voice, wallah, I can't hear you. Muhammad Tamer, what is the question?
Yes, Mr. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Habibi. What is the problem?
Yes, yes. If there is if there is 0.006
0.006
circle, yes, then 0.1.
Okay, how we can compare between them? Number one, we count.
Yes.
What? Look at the number before the decimal. What is the number before the decimal?
0.
Ignore them. Number 2, count. How many digits that we have here?
3.
How many digits that we have here?
1.
You can't compare. If they are different digits, you can't compare. So how we can compare? Complete to make the same number of digits. What is the way of complete? To complete the same number of digits? We put?
Yeah.
We said 0.1, the same as 0.10. The
1.
same as
10. Yeah.
0.100.
0.100.
The same as 0.1000. It means if you add zeros at the right, it's still the same value. It doesn't change. You understand this one?
Yes.
Okay. So how many zeros that we need to complete? We have here 1 digit and we have here 3 digits. So how many zeros missing?
2.
2. So we add 2 zeros. Now we need to compare. We have 0, 0, 6 and 100. Which one is bigger?
100.
100. You understand it now? Is it clear?
Yes.
Any problem
Yes.
for this one?
No, thank you, Mister,
Okay.
so much.
Muhammad Amir, what is the question? Muhammad Amir. Okay, so we can go back to the book. We need to compare. Leave the book now. Just look at the screen. Leave the book. Just look at the screen. Who can solve question number 1 with me? Question number 1. Question number 1. If you know the answer, please raise your hand. Waleed. How we can solve question number 1?
Question number 1?
0.5 and 0.7. Which one? Greater or smaller?
Greater.
Like that?
No.
The other side. So please read the statement. Say 0.5 is greater than or smaller than or equal 0.7.
Okay.
Give me the answer. You didn't give me the answer. I just asked you and you didn't give me the answer.
The answer is 7 greater.
Please, can you read it as I told you? Please. Take from your time just 30 seconds and say 0.5, then put the sign, put the relation 0.7. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we have 0.5.
What is the relation?
It's 1 digit.
No. Is greater than, smaller than, or equal than 0.7. Is greater than or smaller than or equal?
Greater than.
So you say 0.5 is greater than by this way?
Smaller than. No.
So read it. That is my question. Read it. 0.5 is smaller than 0. That's to know how to read the statement.
0.5 is smaller than.
Yes, that's my question. Thanks. Okay, so who can solve with me question number 2? We have here Malik. Malik. Question number 2, Malik.
Yes.
Question number 2. How we solve?
Okay. So you look at the 4 and look at the first digit. It's 4, 4. Leave
4
it.
and 4, leave it. They are the same. Then look,
the
count.
Second digit.
Count. Just 1 minute. Count how many digits at the right of the decimal. Count how many digits at the right of the decimal. Do you have the same number or different?
Different.
How different? Same number. No, same number of digits. Same number of digits.
They have the same number of digits.
They have the same number of digits. So now we can compare. If they have the same number of digits, so we can compare. If they have,
Yes.
if they haven't the same number of digits, so we can't compare. So now we need to compare 40 and 44.
Yes. 44 is bigger than the 40.
44 is bigger than 40. You understand it now? Is it clear?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So we need Hazim Tariq. Solve with me question number 3, please. Hazim Tariq, question number 3.
Okay. 4 is greater than.
Sorry?
4.4 is greater.
Yes, 4.4 is greater than 4.1. Thanks. So we need another one. Abdurrahman, can you solve question number 4? Question number 4?
Yes, mister.
Question number 4.
Question number 4. 37 is smaller than
0.37. 0.37 is smaller than.
0.37
Yes.
smaller than
Thanks.
0.37.
Malik, can you solve number 5?
مستر الحصة خلصت.
So if you want to go.
المفروض يا بلاد.
Okay, so you can go now, no problem. Okay.
مع السلامة.
Assalamu alaikum.